K-pop group.
Shut the fuck up.
Girls.
Stop it.
What the fuck is that?
It's a K-pop girl group.
It's an actual group.
Stay.
It's stay, like the word, and then a letter C.
So bad.
Yeah.
Actually,
and
not
you can
that
guarantee
actually bad.
Ronaldo probably. I mean, it's as bad as like the normal girl.
Oh yeah,
K-pop
give me a
group
song.
I like most
from Stacey.
girl K-pop
Yeah.
groups.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, it's just like I feel like
I just feel like I don't like the name, so I'm judging a book by its cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, books do have covers, and I'm gonna be like, wow, that's a shitty
Moby
cover.
Dick? I don't want to read a fucking gay book.
Who's Moby? I don't want to see his dick. No, but I feel like I honestly feel like girl K-pop groups are worse than guy K-pop groups.
I think
Because they just try so hard to be
There's
like,
a few songs I like, but
I don't know.
We're cute.
Blackpink doesn't try to be cute.
well, yeah, but Blackpink is different.
ITZY doesn't try to be cute. They did in the early stages, but so does like every. Early BTS was a fucking.
Yeah, they try
We're
to be.
fucking gangster, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of how the
That's
guys.
pretty
The guys are
cringe.
like, we're masculine, and the girls are like, we're feminine, and then
It's
they
not-
all like, we figured out what we actually like.
What's the one girl K-pop group with like they have like heavier guitars sometimes?
I have no idea.
They were pretty popular. But they were like my favorite. I think I can't remember their name though. I haven't listened to
fucking
K-pop in so long.
Only K-pop group I know that has fucking instruments is Day 6.
No,
female.
not that one. It's basically the female Day-6, but
But like heavy metal.
Baby
yeah,
metal.
not heavy,
Baby metal.
Baby metal.
not baby either.
Baby metal is like my
Not baby.
I was playing the English version of Zombie today at work.
I
and
saw,
this one
yeah.
person came in and was like, "Is this 5 seconds of summer?" And I just stood there and I wanted to like bullshit.
You should have just said
Should've
yes.
said yes.
You should have just
Bro,
said yes.
I want. No, I was trying to think of this elaborate joke, like continue going, but I was just so tired. I was like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Anyway, and they just walked away, and I'm like,
Anyway, where are the butt plugs?
Oh my god.
I still think it's
And
so
then Will was like, oh, actually, I recommend the wooden butt plug.
I just think it's so
Just
funny.
a wooden butt plug?
Wooden.
The splinters are extra sensation.
You know how like some dildos are ribbed? The plug isn't. The splinters are like the.
Yo,
Oh,
splinters for his pleasure.
Red Velvet. Red Velvet.
Red Velvet?
I love Red Velvet.
Velvet.
I didn't know they do live instruments,
They don't
but I
do
love
live
Red.
instruments.
I thought they did.
You're thinking of the wrong
Not that I know
people.
of.
You're thinking of the wrong people.
Anyways, I do like Red Velvet
Yes.
though.
Yeah, Red Velvet's nice.
Anyways.
Red Velvet's nice.
I love Red
I like
Velvet.
Mamamoo too, though.
Love
Yeah.
Mamamoo too. Let's name all the good K-pop girls. Twice is up there. I don't like ITZY.
Mamamoo. I
I
really
do like
really
certain
don't like
ITZY. I
ITZY.
do like Not Shy. I think Not Shy. is
That's the
good.
only one
Okay.
I listen to.
That's all I can think of that I like.
Yeah, but even those songs are not like songs I'd be like, man, I really want to go hear that song.
Yeah, but that's like
it turns on and
that's
I'm like,
every Blackpink song.
I'm
for me,
content with-
though. Okay.
yeah.
You
As
turn
if it's in a
Blackpink song, I'm
playlist, it's like I'll
yes.
listen to it, but I'm not avidly going searching.
exactly. I have specifically searched out and looked up a Red Velvet song, a Mamamoo song, and a Twice song, but I've never like, man, you know what? I really want to hear Blackpink in your area, or like, not shy,
I
not
do.
me.
Well, you just said a Blackpink song and then said I like Blackpink, but I don't want to hear Blackpink.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to hear. I don't go out of my way to listen to them. Like if they came on, I'd be like, I'm okay.
I thought your
you don't
argument was
listen
going to
to
be, I
Kumbaya?
like listening to things, but I don't like when people announce themselves.
No,
I thought that's what you were saying, too.
I also don't like the what is it, call signs, right?
Got 7, 7, 7, 7.
Yeah, or like when it's the rapper's turn and he's like, oh, double B, and then he starts singing like, oh, that's in Got 7.
Double D.
No, not double D, double D. Because his name's Bam Bam.
What's under Double D's hat?
Double D, I'm a wetbacker. It's a weird K-pop song.
I remember there was an entity where they had that the boomerang that would change their personalities, and Double D became a
Australian?
nudist. No,
Isn't there one of them that became like fucking Australian
Eddie
or
became a
something?
girl. Ed became smart, and then Double D became like a nudist, or like he was just constantly taking his clothes off.
Oh.
I think he was like going
He was like,
crazy.
oh,
Definitely
I
remember
feel
the
so
double D.
hot.
And the last shot is him taking his underwear off.
That's so nasty. What I think is even more nasty is like they literally have like 3 strands of hair.
Yep.
Like all these other characters have hair except for Johnny.
I think Double. I think Double
Eddie has
D-
3
I'm
hairs.
blank.
Double D has the
a
same.
hat,
Yeah,
right?
he has a hat, but he
Double
has
D
the
got-
same hair as Eddie, and Ed just has like a.
Double D got cornrows.
He kind of does, like low key.
Ralph got a nice head of hair.
He does.
He also
Kevin
he
has
also
the
be
fucking
fucking
pop out from his
fucking
forehead.
goats though.
Yeah, but I think it's implied that Kevin has hair underneath the
Yeah.
hat, and I think his hat is. Actually, I think his hat has come off. And
I think
he
there's
doesn't
hair
have
that comes out of
I think he has a
No,
buzz.
he does have hair.
Doesn't it come out the front of his hat?
Yeah, hair comes out of the front.
I have to look it up now. I could swear that I remember seeing like his hat come off, and he's just kind of like bald underneath with the 3 hair.
You guys ever see those like Ed and Eddie like
Realistic
post like childhood like post cul-de-sac music videos?
Like grown up.
Yeah, they're like grown up, but like there's music videos out. They're so weird.
Oh yeah, he
Sounds
just has the
weird.
fucking
Don't like
3
that.
strands coming out of his forehead, and that's it.
I'm looking at all these pictures, and I can't find one of the hat
He
off,
looked
but I
like
could have
that.
sworn
Okay, hat off, bro.
hat off.
Oh my god.
That show is so weird. The animation style is so strange. Ew.
I like the animation.
But I feel like they did a good job
It's
anyway.
like classic, yeah.
They have like green and purple and blue tongues, and I was just like, this is normal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I always thought they were
Like,
sick.
yo, fucking Canadians, dude. It's a
It's-
Canadian TV
Is
show.
that a Canadian show?
Yeah.
So was Total
Johnny
Drama
Test.
Island?
Yeah,
Test
that
was
was
Canada.
definitely.
Dude, does Canada just like make the best
That was
animated
another.
shows?
That was
music.
another. Remember the other day I was telling you about how like as a kid when I saw things that were like more adult, I was like, I can't watch that. I would watch Total Drama Island, and there was that episode where like the girl lost her top,
Yeah.
and she was like had her tits out, and I was like, like I turned that shit right off. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
She's got and like in those shows, the proportions are so fucking.
Yeah, it's
weird.
really weird.
They're like their waist is like 2 inches, and then they got huge hips, and then like
Well,
pointy.
I'm pretty sure
pyramid
that
titties.
girl that had her top taken off, she had the skinniest waist, but her hips were a block.
Was it the blonde girl? Or was it?
It was
a
a dark
Heather.
hair. It was a
Oh,
dark
Heather?
hair girl.
the mean one.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
She was on like an ATV and it
Yeah.
branched.
I think I remember that. And then she's like, "Fuck it, I'll still win," and then she lost.
Didn't the big boy win?
Yeah, Owen won. It was Owen versus Gwen.
The
And they were
big
like,
boy
"Oh,
won.
check it out! They have the same letters except for that one." Owen, Gwen. Yeah, and then he won because I don't know.
I
Just
don't remember
TV show
That's
bullshit.
when everyone was down bad for the fucking goth girl.
Yo, for real.
She was
That fucking
fine.
dumb jock with the giant fucking pin-shaped head. You know what I'm talking
Is that Tyler?
I think
that was
so.
Tyler.
Yeah, the one that
'Cause
was
then there was
dating.
Duncan, which was the
Duncan was
goth
the-
guy.
Duncan was the other goth one,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
Duncan was a vibe though. I like Duncan.
yeah.
You remember what was his name? Jacob? That like really hot one that everyone was like,
Oh, the one that got voted off in the first episode.
yeah, he like painted his eyes on his eyelid and just stood there like while
Yeah.
he slept. I was like, what the fuck? Yo.
Yeah,
And he just was like, huh? What's going on? How do you sleep standing up?
I'd do that.
You ever watch Camp Laszlo?
I love that
Yes.
show.
Oh,
That's like-
ACIO.
That's so. Like I can only remember episodes of that from like being maybe 5 to 8
Well,
years old. is
I
when
thought it was weird that I just recently just looked that up, and then I found out that the last episode is them finding that their scoutmaster is an imposter.
Yeah.
Like the other
Yeah.
real one was.
It was like. Dun, 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 dun.
He's kind of sus.
Oh, that's awful.
But no, like I remember at the end of the episode, the real one like comes out,
What's
and he's
his
like,
name?
"You kidnapped
Counselor
me."
What?
I
He was a
have no
moose,
clue.
right?
Yeah.
He was a moose.
Oh, shit.
Camp Master Lumpus.
Lumpus.
Lumpus or Lumpus?
I think it's Lumpus.
Oh.
Camp Master Lumpus is the imposter.
And then there was the.
I saw him venting.
That's one good thing. Then he had like it was the snail guy that was his assistant, and then there was
Yeah.
the other weirdos.
Was there like an elephant guy who was like
Raj.
supposed to be Indian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now that you say Raj, I'm like, okay.
And
yeah.
there was
I'm
Snake
glad.
and
I was about to
elephant.
say, like, he was one of the main characters, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a subtle way to just put in, like, POC. Just like, the elephant, Raj.
But do you think they did it because of that, or they were like, we want Indian accent character? So,
You know what? I don't know.
I don't think it was intentionally.
I mean,
like
Clam was arguably, special.
who's Clan?
He's the rhino.
Yeah,
I think he was a rhino.
I only remember
He
Monkey.
He was like a dinosaur,
he's
but he
like
was like,
yellow.
"Ugh!"
Yeah.
He had 2 horns
I
on
don't
his
think he's a
nose.
Lazo! Do you remember like the?
Oh, I kind of remember.
I
that.
could have. I feel like. Well, I mean, arguably, like half the characters in the show are special needs. Like the dumb
Oh,
bee
like the
brothers.
twins,
You
yeah.
think it's a special needs like summer camp
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, honestly, it could be. Raj was pretty smart, but he was like,
Maybe
I don't know,
autistic
oblivious to certain
or
things.
Asperger's. I don't know.
Laszlo was stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, species white rhinoceros. It's clan.
No.
Origin South Africa.
It's like yellow.
Yeah, he was yellow. That show was like an acid trip, I swear.
You know what that reminded me of, though? Like, what that show essentially reminds me of is Rocko's Modern Life.
I love that
Did you
show.
ever see that
I don't
show?
think I ever
Never watched
that.
that.
It was a great
It was a
show.
good one. It had,
It's weird as fuck.
It was super weird.
That
I'm
was
trying to
during the time when the '90s Nickelodeon stuff was all just weird as shit.
Yeah.
Like there was the Cow and Chicken show, and then it had
Cow and
spin-off.
Chicken
Oh,
was
yeah.
Ren
Did
and
you ever-
Stimpy.
Yeah, so have you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ryan from
Johnny
Super
Bravo.
Mega, he has a Rhett and Stimpy laugh, and I've been doing it. It's like, do you know what I'm talking about? And I've been doing it recently, and it's like becoming more and more involuntary.
I hate that. I hate when you mimic somebody else's laugh and then it's just like, this is now mine.
That's how people work. That's how people is.
That's the American way.
That's the human
This is
way.
your laugh?
No, it's my laugh.
Well, there was like those girls in school
The
who
communist
would
way. This is our laugh.
but then like they
Oh,
would,
yeah.
some of them actually did that, and some of them were like, I'm gonna sneeze like that now. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking
I
about.
hated that.
I don't know how they do it. I involuntarily like scream at the top of my lungs. Like, no, you knowing that I'm like, ah, and I just like scream, and you're like, fuck, my ear popped. What was that? I don't know why.
It's always dads that have the largest sneezes.
Oh,
every
my
time.
dad like goes absolutely
Literally
fucking
just
like,
shatters windows.
No, he's like,
Yeah.
like that's one sneeze.
I'll hear my
Imagine-
dad from the garage upstairs, and I'm like, "The fuck are you sneezing so hard
Yeah.
for?" Like,
My grandparents used to do that all the time.
Brianna has like the quietest sneeze.
Mhm.
That's like a chain link. It's always like there's never one sneeze.
Yeah.
It's like
The world's longest
Like 5 of them.
sneeze.
at least she doesn't do the fucking cat sneeze. Does Lana do that? I feel like she does.
She does do that, doesn't she?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she does. Anybody know?
Well, you the other day, you were something no one's ever said to me. You're like, I don't think I've ever heard you sneeze. And I'm like, who thinks of that?
I'd really like to hear you
It wasn't like
sneeze.
somebody sneezed and then you were like, it was just like out of nowhere. You're like, hey, I don't think I've ever heard you sneeze.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard you do anything but cough. Have you burped before? Have you ripped ass?
Plenty
Even
of
take
times.
shits?
He doesn't even have an asshole.
They sewed it up as a baby.
So what do you poop?
Yeah, I sweat everything out.
Oh my god, he sweats shit.
He's got brown sweat.
Ew.
Wake up.
Wake up, mommy.
No, wake the fuck up, mommy.
I pissed the bed.
Man, poor Cyberpunk.
yeah.
I still haven't played it.
You still haven't played it?
I never bought it. I mean, I
Will
still
has
haven't
it.
played fucking Resident Evil 8 either, and I haven't downloaded it.
Yeah.
I've been
Will
thinking
has
about
it,
that. I
so.
kind of want to play that. Which one?
You wanna hop on my
I might steal it.
Steam
from you.
library?
I wanted to play it the other day because I heard it's a short play too. Like, not short, like I heard you can beat it within like 15 hours.
If you don't
That's
like,
good.
if you're not
That's
really
good,
searching for stuff, then yeah, you can.
That's short for me. Most of the games I play are like 40 hours plus campaign games.
I-
so-
I always thought the normal campaign average is 8 hours.
I think so.
Because that's like,
I
you
like
could
games
you
that
could
never
blast
end.
through Halo in like 8 hours.
Like indie games are like
Gears.
maybe 3 hours to 4 hours.
For me, it always depends on like what you have to do. Because like for example, like if it's stuff where you're searching for things, I will take the longest time looking for everything.
Oh well, yeah.
Like for like
we know you're
so,
bad
like,
at games.
there's
He's like, I have to find this playing card in Last of Us Part 2, dude.
Starts
I
going
can't find
circles
it.
around the insane
Bruh,
building.
I love that game, but I still shut the fuck up. I still can't believe how like I still can't find all the fucking quarters either. That's
Oh
what's
my,
the
you
dumbest
still haven't
shit.
done it?
No, I stopped doing it because I'm like,
Didn't
I
you
gave
beat
up.
the game like
Open a
1,000
strategy
fucking
guide.
times?
The second game I only played twice. I just gave up. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
it was gonna ruin the
fanboy.
game for me, so I was just like, I don't want to go. I don't have to be like.
I
Alright,
love
look it up.
being
It's
a
quarter there.
completionist and everything, but like
I am too, but
there
that's
are
just
certain
too much.
things that are just too.
Yeah, there are
tedious.
certain
Yeah.
games. Like,
It's one for every state, but like
Yeah.
they're like not obvious.
So
all the
there's
time.
50. How are you gonna get to Alaska or Hawaii?
Oh
and well, actually, at the end of Last of Us, Ellie gets bitten by a radioactive spider, and
She turns Spider-Man's all the way over there.
To Alaska, to Hawaii.
yeah. No, she's like becomes opposite Spider-Man, so she can just like use it as big old stilts on her
Well,
wrist.
honestly, I feel like Spider-Man could make it to Alaska. You just slingshot himself with trees like 1,000 times. If he splats the ground,
yeah, but you hit a
he's
terminal velocity at
fine.
some point, and like I don't think a human could launch that. Long.
Do you hit a terminal velocity when going forward? I
Yes,
thought that's
because
that's only
the-
if you're
it's-
going
it's-
down.
It's it reacting against your body, so your force is going this way.
Yeah,
You
but
have an
gravity's
opposite
pushing
force.
you down.
It's not gravity.
It's
that
about
pulls it.
air.
It's about velocity, not gravity.
Yeah, no, but I thought terminal velocity is how far or how fast you can fall
Before the
from
wind
gravity
resistance,
before the wind resistance.
There can be wind
equals it out.
resistance horizontally too.
Yeah, no, but the gravity's not what pushes you. So there isn't a terminal velocity. Eventually, you just slow down.
Eventually, you hit a max speed where the wind you're going against is pushing back the same amount you're pushing towards it.
I mean, obviously, you have to hit a max speed because of physics, but you're always slowing down in that situation because he's slingshotting himself.
I really hope this is explained in the third Spider-Man movie.
If he went like web on one tree, and then flung himself, he would be like, phew, he would do a parabola. He would hit a max speed, a max height, and then he would fall.
But you
to
wouldn't
the ground.
exactly. But what I'm saying is that he would reach his maximum velocity way before he ever makes it to fucking Alaska.
Well, I'm not saying like
Well,
one
it's just
tree and
it-
another tree is like, this is it. This is him. I'm saying do that multiple times. I'm saying he could probably travel.
Like island
that
hop.
way. Yeah, basically. I mean, he could.
Well, that's
He
a
could.
That didn't. Wasn't
All
what it
right.
sounded
Also,
like.
does Spider-Man have infinite web?
No.
No, you know how like you can't come like over and over.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
He has,
Webbing
he
is
has
not,
web fluid
like,
in his wrist.
Follow
Yeah,
up.
it's fluid. It's not like an actual.
Are the
biological
webs
thing.
cum?
No.
It actually depends on the Spider-Man, not the cum part. But but like the
I think I know
newer
what you
Spider-Mans, they have
Well,
like technology.
Sam Raimi
Raimi's the one
was
that ruined it.
biological. Like Sam Raimi just literally had
Wasn't
it come
Tobey
out of
Maguire's
his-
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how.
Right,
That
and then
came
Andrew
out
Garfield
of
was
his
like, I
wrist.
created this extra.
Well, that's how it is. The original Spider-Man,
That's how
he
it's
didn't have the
supposed to
web
be.
ability. He had to make his own thing. And
Yeah.
then Sam Raimi was like, "Nah, let's make it look like he has cum coming out of his wrists." There's a shot of him when Peter Parker pulls
Go,
out his
Web, go!
sleeve, and it looks like a legit cum shot on his wrist.
It's like
And-
wet.
Tobey
Yeah,
Maguire?
it's wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's literally that video where he's like trying to do the web for the first time,
Wow.
and then it's like this, and then it transitions to just a cum shot in some cum's face.
He like
Oh,
does it on
God.
like a billboard too. Isn't there like a
It was when
person
he was
on the
trying to use it
billboard?
for the first time. Yeah, he was trying to like web sling. And he was like, "Go Web, go!"
That's kind of wild though, because I feel like Spider-Man's best power is arguably his web powers. Like,
No, his
Well,
spider sense is
it's-
his
it's-
best power.
It's weird because
Yeah,
he,
but I
he-
mean,
he
like,
gets classified
premonition's
in the
always the
heroes
best.
of like acrobatic heroes. So like his power is more recognized as an acrobatic thing than,
Yeah.
than like
I mean,
Spider.
he has super strength. He's acrobatic. He's
yeah, well, yeah,
So
that's
agile
all true.
in the
But I feel
spider
like
sense.
if Spider-Man didn't have webs, like he would just be lame.
I agree though.
Like,
If
I
he
can
did-
climb walls and
yeah.
I can pick up cars.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations,
The
no
web
one
does
fucking
make
cares
it
about you.
Interesting.
Yeah, you strip away the web, and
And that doesn't even make you a spider.
well, like it doesn't make sense that he. I guess it's more realistic that he doesn't have webs than he does.
I don't know
guess.
about because like yes, but also doesn't he grow spider hairs on all of his body and he can
yeah.
stick?
You
I don't
see it
things?
zooms in,
I
and
don't
then
know if he grew like.
He does in the Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
movie.
you remember that?
Tobey
It's-
Maguire
I don't know how
fucking
that works
weird.
in the comics.
I forget how in the comics, but yeah, I remember in the movie, like it zooms in and you see like little like spider tendrils like coming out like his, his
I
like,
don't like
fingerprints,
that. I think-
and
I
then
think-
he's like,
At the end of the
Like
day,
climbing
I
up.
guess-
I think growing a hair. I think growing a hair is slightly more realistic than shooting webs out of your wrist.
But we're still talking about superheroes, and then like
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
can't
but I'm
really
saying-
talk about realism because then we got like I don't know a dude that turns green when he's mad and fucks shit up.
So,
Yeah.
so if the webs are not part of his powers, and that's arguably
Okay.
one of his like
Most
most
known.
useful, notable, epic powers, he could just give the web slinging to anybody else, and they would be a better thing than they already are.
Well, I
No.
think
Imagine
I think-
Captain America
I think
with
his
webs.
strength and his power and his new senses make him actually able
No.
to swing.
Why
from
not?
webs.
Because
Imagine Captain
He's
America,
not
he
just
throws a shield and then he web slings and it
Well, yeah,
smacks
so
everybody
the
in a
reason
circle.
why Spider-Man is able to use those webs though is because of his powers. Like
Because
he's
of
able
his-
to
yeah.
web sling. He's able to wall crawl. He's able to be agile enough to,
Yeah, but there are other people that are agile that they're just
not as Spider-Man though. Not as much
Is
as
Spider-Man the most like agile
I think
acrobat?
so.
probably yeah.
He's one of them, yeah.
So
It's kind of wild.
But like you also have to
He's like,
combine
he's
his
Spider-Man.
his strengths.
What does
and
he have in
his
common with a
senses, 'cause
spider?
You could give fucking Batman.
Web.
You give
Wall
Batman
crawl.
Spider-Man with webs, but he's not gonna swing the way Spider-Man does. He's just gonna be like grapple hook.
Yeah.
I don't get spider sense though either, because like spiders
That's not a
don't
real
have
fucking.
spiders.
that was just
I remember seeing that on Google. It's like, do spiders have a real spidey sense? It's like,
Yeah, no.
no, you fucking idiot. Like, yeah, dude, spiders know when you're about to smack them. That's why they run away.
It's Peter tingle.
It's
Wasn't that like what Aunt May
Yeah.
says?
The hot aunt.
It's your speeder, the spider speeder.
Speeder
Anyway.
tinkle.
Yeah, that's probably his best like comic book power because I feel like they
Yeah.
could write in
Was that
any
from,
moment like he knows he's about to die.
The newer ones, the
Yes, the
I can't think of his name. The actor
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, right?
Yeah.
That was that Aunt May. Yeah, the good Aunt May.
Yo, Tom Holland is such a good Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like Tobey Maguire now, I look at it and it's just like you're cosplaying.
It's one.
Your whole
A lot of
series.
people, a lot of
movies
people
is
like Tobey
cosplaying.
Maguire because it's one of those things. It's a nostalgia thing where it's
Hi.
where it's like, oh, we all kind of watch because at the time there was no other Spider-Man movie, so it's everyone's like, Tobey Maguire is the best one, and then Andrew Garfield came along. It's like
we also grew up with
and
it,
then Tom
too.
Holland was like, but yeah, we grew up with.
I grew up like I didn't care about heroes, and then I saw Spider-Man as a kid, and then I had Spider-Man blankets, and Spider-Man pillows, and toys, and a picture with
You had
Spider-Man that's
problems.
framed in my room.
You had problems.
No, that's a fucking kid.
Nah.
Oh my god.
Nah,
You
that's
had
like me with
you
Star
were-
Wars. Don't
you
get
had
over it.
problems. You were sitting in your
You're
room doing
named after a Star
calculations.
Were character.
So?
You were born into
What
that.
if his name was Peter? Would you say something different? Would you say something different?
Hey Peter.
Yo,
Peter, you are
oh
wet
no! His name's Peter. He has to be a Spider-Man fan.
How am I a kid and like not allowed to? How am I having a problem with a kid who likes Spider-Man? That's like every kid.
That just makes us like Brandon's the most boring kid ever.
Yeah, that just makes Brandon like bored. Yeah, you didn't sit there punching in math numbers in your calculator for fun.
Bro,
You
you
did
didn't,
K-pop. What do
you
you
didn't
mean?
play old school RuneScape when you were 4 like I did?
Ew.
Kind of cringe.
I
It is cringe. You're right. It's cringe.
Are you
to
doing a
play.
podcast right now? You know that's XP waste to be on this podcast right
I know. I should be on right now.
now. You would.
You know, he is honestly right. Like the mentality in the community of RuneScape is like if you're not playing RuneScape, then you're just wasting XP. Like, it's
Their
like,
whole
honestly,
lives are dedicated solely and purely to RuneScape.
I mean, it makes sense for people who are.
I mean, it's like that with.
I don't think it makes
MMO, I
sense to make
guess.
anybody's life one thing.
It's like
Well,
that
when their life is
literally
meaningless
Wow.
and the video game makes them feel
everything
better.
else. Oh yeah, everything else.
I always think about those people and like, what if you just went to their house, fucked up all their computer shit, and then just like watched?
They'll
it?
probably
Like,
kill themselves.
They might.
They would
They
just buy a
would.
new computer. If you deleted their
If they don't have
account,
money
they're
or
like,
something,
my
though.
life's
Huh,
over.
I have backed up on 3 different hard
Speaking
drives.
of a good topic though, since you were talking about RuneScape, that whole thing you mentioned me like a while ago about the Venezuelans.
Oh,
RuneScape.
yeah.
I remember when you told me about that.
So
What was that?
Venezuela has like a very bad economy and country.
Oh.
Because of the government being so corrupt and like you need like millions of I forget what their currency is called, the Venezuelan I don't remember.
I don't know.
But it's like you need millions of it to buy like bread. It's like very high,
Yeah.
overinflated. So people are legitimately playing RuneScape and farming gold and selling it. I think you could sell gold for I think 30 cents a mil, and you could probably make a couple mil an hour if you do like the best methods. So at most you can make like $1 an hour, and these people are feeding their families with that shit. And I've seen videos of like 60-something-year-old grandmas fucking playing RuneScape and like defeating one of the hardest bosses just back to back to back because
Kind of
she's just
badass.
working. That's her job. Like it is kind of
That's
badass.
a pro gamer move.
I haven't even beaten some of those bosses, and I just see this grandma like, oh my god.
She because you were playing for fun. She's fucking
She's
feeding her
feeding her
family.
family, yeah. Imagine if I played RuneScape all day and it's like, I have to do this. Like, you know?
It kind of sucks. Like, for you, it's pleasure. For them, it's like they're probably not even enjoying it. They're probably just
Yeah.
like,
That's just the thing they have to do.
Exactly,
Like,
to survive,
yeah.
because that's just how it
fuck,
is.
now I gotta fight the shards of
Our
Sarah.
jobs to be.
Oh god, the fragment
Yeah.
of Saran.
Oh, I was so close.
You're close. But it's weird because then you have this situation where like a lot of people are breaking the game rules to feed their families and shit in
and
the
then it's
country.
like, do you,
And it's like,
are you
do you
supposed to feel
enforce
bad,
those
or-
rules? Or do you go, that's okay, because you're feeding your family?
Yeah.
It's weird.
The real world is not supposed to creep into the...
Yeah, it's like for the
fake
first
one,
time
you
you
know?
have real life consequences for your in-game actions. Not the first time, but like it's a very real point where like, man, I could feel like being an asshole and killing this old lady, and like for me,
Yeah.
it's just part of a game. For them, that's like, oh,
They
they're
lost,
real life.
They lost
yeah.
all that
I lost
time.
my
They
wages
lost in
today.
the game, and then they lost in real life.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. And so there's this one YouTube creator that I follow who made this video where like because the way they gold farm, if you just traded it over like normal, they could track that. Like Jagex can track that. So they drop it on the ground and let it appear to somebody else in like a location that no one else is, and then they pick it up. So it's like undetectable, you know.
Okay.
And this creator went and found these like locations and would wait until they drop it, and then go and take it before they pick
the
it up.
invisible.
Yeah, he had like this outfit that's like translucent, so you can barely see him, so he looked like a ghost. And he had he stole billions of gold, and people were like, "You're a fucked up human being." Like, people were feeding their families with that shit, but like to them, it's just like, this is a game. Like, I got GP.
Yeah, to
like,
be fair,
woo-hoo!
if I didn't know any better, like if I didn't know that was happening and I was just playing the game, I would do the same thing.
I've been like, oh shit, someone's sick.
I just feel like you shouldn't have to make that like moral
Yeah.
decision while you're playing a video game for fun. Like, it's like, if I scored this goal in Rocket League, they're gonna get executed. Like, that's crazy. I don't want to play Rocket League
Yeah.
anymore. Like, what the
maybe,
fuck?
Maybe I should just give up my imposter. Because if I win,
If I win,
die.
then all of these Somalian children will be killed.
Yeah,
Like,
are we
what the
making
fuck?
the next anime right now? Is this the
I mean,
plan?
it's basically like, I don't know, a worse real life version of SAO. It's like,
yeah, but like instead of actually just being virtually in the game, you're just like trying to have fun playing. I don't know, Call of Duty. It's like, hey, if you're not top of the scoreboard,
yeah.
it's just like a guy standing next with a gun. And it's like,
I mean, it's kind of like what
second
Batum
place
is,
and
right?
ball, you're dead.
well, Batum, you get put into an island,
And it's
you
like,
just,
yeah, hey, you gotta live.
yeah, throw bombs.
So you
and
basically
kill
have to be
people.
better than everybody else and get off the island.
Yeah.
Nod. And then we would be
I'm
like,
like, give me
yeah.
the mic.
No, that's when like when I edited it, I just
Nod
put
into-
subtitles in for him. Give me nods yes to answer.
Give me blink twice if you're being held hostage.
So, did you watch anything come out on E3? Yes. What was your favorite game?
Did you guys actually watch E3?
Yes.
I watch. No, I just like.
I don't watch
I would
it.
see
I
like.
don't watch it.
I
I
watched
would
it
see
all.
news
Well, I didn't
updates of
watch
like
it
this
anyway.
was released, and then if I cared about it, I would go check it out.
I just
Did you turn sleep off?
I'd put it to 3 hours.
Okay.
I watched it at work.
I can't believe we missed out on all the good conversation
Yeah,
about
wow.
crypto.
Let's restart talking about E3.
Yeah.
E3 is a good
Oh.
topic.
Yeah, well, sorry. I was listening to Critical's podcast, most recent one, and they talked about E3, and they were arguing that E3 is fucking stupid and redundant because these companies just put their shit out on Twitter and already make all the hype before E3, so there's no point to have an E3. And then Jackson was like, "No, I like E3," and they're like, "You're an idiot."
I think
Like,
E3
"Oh,
is
it's
cool.
good."
It's like a convention where you can go and
Oh,
be
yeah.
with like-minded people, and
Exactly.
there are booths and things you can go do and have
Well, that's the
fun
thing.
with.
That's why I like when I loved going anime conventions where it's like I'll go to the panels where they'll be like, oh, premiere of a new trailer or teaser for an anime, and it's like I could as easily watch this at home, but it's the idea and the environment of going like there's thousands of people who are all super excited about this. Just like how like if I watched when they announced Part 6 being animated. And I was really excited by myself. I was like, imagine being in the room when they introduced the voice actors for Jolene, and it's like, oh shit! And then they play the teaser trailer for it, and it's like the environment.
Yeah.
But it like I can understand why they thought he was kind of stupid for saying that was fun, but in the redundancy I can understand because it's like for E3 my main complaint was like they were like, here's Halo Infinite, and it's like we knew that.
Yeah.
Like we knew it was coming.
It's
It was a
actually
year
coming out
ago.
this time.
And then there's other stuff where it's like, you would not believe this world premiere, and it's Final Fantasy VII Part 2, and it's like,
Wait, Part 2? There was a part. The
Yeah,
first
it
one
only
was
came
only
out
Part 1.
half the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
and now the next one's releasing out.
I did not know
I didn't
that.
know that either.
That
Yeah.
would make me so fucking mad.
That's why, like, and
Yeah.
the original Final Fantasy was split up into different
Yeah,
discs.
the
'cause it was-
original games were
yeah.
also. I mean, back then it was because
It was
a
limited.
PS1.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But now-
also, it was a lot of. It was a lot. It was still a lot for a part one. Like it was a still
Yeah.
fair game. It's like having one game that can be split into the amount of two.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
much how
don't-
a Final Fantasy game
I
goes.
guess, but I don't like that though.
Yeah.
That's just
It seems
stupid,
kinda
man.
scummy.
Well,
You
probably do have
Well,
to
the
pay
annoying
for it.
Literally
part was
just a
that
money
I
grab.
don't think because the first part for the remake was released on last gen, but I think the second part is only on next gen. So if you don't have a PlayStation 4, you're just fucked.
Damn,
Like
that
you
is-
can't play
that
the
is
second
kinda
part. You
fucked.
just either have to watch someone or hope to God you have the chance to get a PlayStation. And I think that's kind of shitty. It's like really
It's a good
bad.
business move, though.
Yeah, it makes people want to buy it, but
Yo.
even in the climate how like
Did I spin over there?
No, it looks like I have a little cup.
oh, but it's like even how the fact that like when like the whole like new console things were so fucking weird. Because
Yeah.
I remember when at my old
Because
job, me
The
and my manager.
Xbox One
Yeah.
didn't even fucking do anything.
Yeah,
They just released a Minecraft blog.
they did.
Yeah, but they didn't like release any cool games. Like Halo was supposed to be the one, and then they were like, "We're gonna push this back
There's some other
because you
stuff.
guys complained."
Oh man.
But like even like when they were because I remember a while ago when I was still working my old job, me and my boss like it was at the time where like you had to put in your name to get a chance to win to get a PlayStation 5. And then later on they're like, oh no, everyone can get one, but they were so expensive, and people were like, I'm gonna buy 7 of them, and then if no one can get them, and you're gonna have to pay me millions of dollars for
Yes,
it.
there was a
Scalping is
lot
a
of
big
scalping.
issue.
And it's like I always knew about it, but I feel like it got so much worse because of this. Because before it's like, what was the like for the last Xbox and the PlayStation 4, it was just like, oh no, there really wasn't much people would be able to get, but now it's like if you get like I remember hearing the stories of a guy getting stabbed outside of GameStop because he had a PlayStation. And they just took
Yeah.
it from him. It's like it got to that point.
I think that it's like because social media is such a huge part of everybody's life now, like not just a certain niche group, like everybody's on it. You can actively see the entire country, the entire world, and them getting hype about it. And everybody's like, all your news feeds are like PS5, and all the memes that you're seeing are PS5, and then like everybody's getting real hyped up
And
for
these
it.
guys are like,
And yeah, some dudes are like, I'm about to
boy.
tell them to bring me my money.
I see dollar signs coming up.
Yeah, and then
It's just scummy shit.
and because I first learned about scalping with I think like tickets and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think that's their first.
Yeah, music tickets.
And now people are realizing, oh, I can
Do
this
that
with
for
anything.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like it went
Shoes.
from like music to like other clothing stuff, and then clothing to games, and now like the whole thing with Pokemon cards, because now like Target doesn't sell Pokemon cards anymore because of so much people like scalpers coming in and like
It's so
people being
wild.
angry. Like I remember there was one time where my friend said that they went to a Walmart and she waited in line like for hours just to get one box and maybe one for her kid.
Your friend might be not the best.
What?
I don't think I would wait in a line for hours.
Well, it
to
wasn't
get-
really hours. It was just a long whatever. It was just a long time. But
I have a
there
hard time
was-
waiting like 10 minutes.
whatever. But, like it was just that she was within the amount where she could get one,
Yeah.
but they didn't. The Walmart didn't regulate the whole thing where it's like, oh, you one per person. So the guy that was first in line bought 10, and then he turned around and was like, yeah, who cares about you guys, and just left, and then they didn't have any more. So it's just like, how fucked is it that people can do this? And then now stores are kind of understanding, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't let this happen. And it's like,
Problem with the capitalist society. Hate to get political on you guys, but that's just fundamentally what
yeah,
American.
I get that. But
America's
I think
based
it's
off
just
of.
so ridiculous because it's a ridiculous item that it's for. Because like Pokemon cards, like
Yeah.
something that we
Anything
played
that
with as
has
kids.
a audience though, like a strong
Yeah.
cult type audience, will always flourish there.
But I feel like they kind of ruined it for me. Like I still will play Pokemon forever, but like I don't really like collecting them anymore because I feel like it just kind of ruined it. Thanks, Logan Paul.
Yu-Gi-Oh game.
7.
7.
Kevin.
3, 2, 1. Penguins.
There's this guy. Hey, and that guy. Wow. And Kevin.
Kevin. God. There's like did you ever hear of the TV network Cubo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever
I
seen
think
3,
we've
2,
all
1
talked about
penguins?
this.
Yeah, they're just like these penguins in space in a rocket ship, and like one's like the cool guy, Larry, and one's the cool, the smart guy,
Godly
Nick.
boys.
And then there's like the third guy, and he's Kevin, and he has like his tongue out and his eyes crossed. It's like, man, Cubo was teaching me how to treat certain people differently.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Kevin.
Who would win, Kevin or Rico from Penguins of Madagascar?
Oh yeah, Rico. Wow, they had a crazy penguin too.
Yeah, it was. I think Rico was like the deranged
Definitely
one,
Rico,
and then there was
yeah.
that one that was like autistic. autistic or something.
Yeah,
Skipper?
Rico's not stupid. He's just crazy.
Yeah, he's like insane. He's like
there was the
He's a
crazy
demo
one,
man.
like the autistic one, the really smart one, then the leader, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember their names.
Skip was the leader.
Kowalski was
Private.
Awesome.
Private.
That was the meme.
That's
before
the
it was
meme.
Private was
Kowalski
a little one.
analysis.
Yeah.
What?
Private was the little
Private
one.
was the autistic one.
Yes, that's all.
No.
No,
No.
He was-
autistic.
No, the
Oh.
private, the small one.
He's the one that's like, hey boys,
Oh, I
I
thought he was
did-
autistic or something.
No, I don't think so. But
I
the other
thought-
one
I
is like,
I thought that he played.
He's like-
He's like a baby.
fuck
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought he
he
was
is.
playing.
It's like the morph
I
of the
thought he was
group.
playing.
Yeah.
I thought he was playing the token like kind of like it's obvious that he probably is special, but they're not gonna say it.
Oh, you know what? I think he's kind of right. He did play like this, like, I'm kind of an idiot. And they're like, you're an idiot. And he's
Because
like, oh,
I'm
sorry,
pretty sure
boss.
I'm pretty sure there was times in like the mangas for movies and then the spin-off show where they would just find him just standing there and not speak, and then they would have to hit him or like say something.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah, I
"What?
think you're
yes,"
right.
and it's like, what is this character?
I mean,
Like,
there's also the guy who doesn't say anything but like grunts, and then he's like,
That's Rico.
yeah, and he's
Yeah,
like,
that's
I've got dynamite. Hot dog.
I'm just saying.
I love that video. But yeah, I mean, you can argue that he's probably special needs too.
So I was sitting there, barbecue sauce on my titties.
what was up with like kid cartoon always doing that? They always like nowadays we're pretty more aware of like the token characters, but it's just like. Those are like, why did they just allow this to have like the special needs character or like the token
it's
black
quite
guy?
offensive.
There's like to
White
be fair
people.
though, I don't know. That was like every children's show until people started saying shit about it.
Yeah.
Because like you watch SpongeBob and some of that shit is whack.
Patrick is literally special needs. Ed from Ed and Eddie is special needs.
I'm pretty sure like I think what was it? I'm pretty sure like South Park was one of the very first shows that like totally like be aware of it and make fun of it. 'Cause
Well,
it's
it was
like,
supposed
South
to be
Park is
adult
always
humor.
woke.
well, yeah, but still, but it was just one of those things where it's like he's token, the token black kid,
Yeah.
and then
It's
and
kinda
you still
funny.
have shows today where it's just like, yeah, he's the token black.
Yeah,
kid.
you got a bass guitar in your parents.
Yeah.
basement.
Oh my god. When Lee said that to
Like, what are you talking
Ronaldo,
about?
that was
I
so
don't know.
funny.
That was funny.
You know how to play bass, Token. Shut up. You're right, I did have a guitar in my basement. How'd you know?
That was when they
You're
from
black, Token. Come on.
That was when they from the Christian rock band, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. That show's always been very well. I don't watch it
I-
anymore,
I-
but I'm sure it's probably still.
Oh no,
pretty
they're
alright.
so up to date with anything that happened.
I saw like we got vaccinated, and all the old people go to
Yeah.
like strip clubs. And, like,
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that like the writers are basically nonstop at work because they have to keep up with whatever's happening.
Well, they don't backlog every episode.
It's
They
fresh.
made
that
They
week.
It's like
have a
made
documentary
from-
called like it's either called like whatever days till or whatever hours till I don't remember the name,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's basically about how they always write their show like the week of,
yeah.
and it has to be out by this date.
what is it? Trey Parker?
Yeah.
something like that. And who's the other guy?
I forgot the other
Scott
one.
something.
No
Yeah.
clue. Yeah.
What?
I have no clue.
Oh fuck. Yeah, they're absolutely insane. They're goated. One could say.
I feel like it's them and like I don't know. One more the other
Matt Stone.
No, I like Matt Stone. He does own shit.
I don't know.
But like South Park, yeah, is one of the powerhouses of like adult comedy and like very up to date with everything. And then there's kind of like how like I don't know if you can count Rick and Morty under that. They're aware, but they don't really make a note of it all the time.
God,
Rick and
I
Morty's
hate the Rick and
too-
Morty fan base though.
Yeah, Rick and
So
Morty's too
cringe.
mainstream, I would say.
Yeah.
Or at least with its like even just its premise.
I still don't want to
quite
watch it
mainstream.
just because of the people I know that
I-
have watched it.
I
think
love
it's
the
good.
show, and I always will watch it. But I'm very much aware how like most fan bases are. But like it's just like if you mention it to someone, they're gonna do that one guy that jumps onto the McDonald's counter screaming Szechuan sauce, and
Yeah.
it's like I just like the show.
I think the second season is definitely the best out of all
How many
the
seasons
series.
are there?
I think there's
They're
four.
making the new one. The new one's coming out tomorrow, actually.
Yeah,
And which one is that? How many
I think
numbers?
it's 4.
4 or 5.
So
Yeah,
I remember
I
I remember the last season. They were like,
Only seen the Pickle Rick episode.
You've only seen that one?
Yeah.
they made there's an episode in the last season where they
The
like
best one.
they were they like went to this alien planet and they like under their control they colonized it and made it to like this utopia, and Rick's only idea to get rid of it was to destroy it, and they were like just like making these explode, and then when they're like flying around and they notice that there's 2 towers
Oh,
and
yeah,
and,
and then
and Rick and Morty just stop and they're like,
we don't have to do that.
we don't have to do that, and they go
Yeah.
past it and they're like, I'm pretty proud of ourselves.
And then they did Pearl Harbor. It was Pearl Harbor with some ships in it.
and
they
then
bombed it.
then Rick was like, can we do this? And Morty's like, I think it's fair game now. It's been a long time.
It's been like over 100 years, you know.
Oh my god, dude! That maybe I should watch Rick and Morty.
They've got some good episodes.
Yeah, there are
They've
good
got some good episodes.
I know you showed me the one with like the acid world where it's like you're gathered here at church and it's like church is a lie, God's fake, we're here stealing your money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like,
It's,
Let's have sex.
popsicle, yeah.
yeah.
There's-
But I've
yeah.
only seen the Pickle Rick episode and I enjoyed that.
I
thought
think
it was
if
weird,
you definitely
but-
like excuse
Yeah.
like the horrible fan base, it is a genuinely good show, and like there are some hit and misses there, but it is like a lot of the episodes I always will fondly remember because it just always has like the weirdest comedy, but it's the best one.
Dan Harmon's also really funny.
I love Dan.
Dan Harmon's great.
Is that the-
Community is
is
such a
that the
good
kind of
show.
bathtub?
Community.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen Community?
No.
It's a good
It's
show.
it's the same guy who makes Rick and Morty, but it's a real
And
life.
Childish Gambino, right?
Yeah, he's in it. But it takes place in a community college,
Mhm.
and you know it's a community college, so they make fun of how fucking like shitty it is, and
No.
it's pretty funny. good.
I don't remember who it was, but it's somebody else on that show I saw like an interview with.
Was it the girl, the brunette girl?
I think it was a guy. And they had like their
Indian
might have been.
or
I literally I only remember what they said about Donald Glover and not who they are.
okay.
And they said that they had the same they had like their room next to his room, like when they were offset.
Oh yeah. I know that
And they
story.
said like, yeah, as soon as we would wrap up shoot for the day, we would go back to our own rooms and I would just hear him working on music all night. And it's like he's absolutely insane. That guy is so talented.
I think Dongo was like one of my favorite like creators or whatever because he's so
Yeah,
diverse
for real.
in
Yeah.
everything.
Because
Like,
he's very good at acting. He's funny. He's a great music producer.
I didn't know he did.
He has
mu-
his television show,
and
Atlanta.
he's a director, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
there
didn't
you go.
for like in the like when I was younger. I didn't know he did music at all. I only knew him because of Comedy Central specials,
Wow.
and then I found out.
Gambino looks a lot like Donald Glover.
and then I remember my cousin showing me one of his albums, and I was like, "Oh shit, he actually like really good at music." And then Atlanta came out, and I was like,
Atlanta's
"Shit."
real good.
Well, I watched Community
Yeah,
before
I
Atlanta, but still,
love
like
Atlanta.
it was
You
still
should
really
watch
good.
it.
Yeah,
God, I feel like I've
Atlanta-
never seen a single show that everybody else has seen.
You should definitely
It's
watch
really
Atlanta.
easy to fix that.
I've watched Lost like 4 times, and you guys are like, "You've seen Rick and Morty?"
I mean,
Yeah.
you watched Lucifer. That's like a very like
Yeah,
popular-
but that's like more recent. It's not like, oh my god, oh my god, you remember that episode of Lucifer where his wings come out? It's insane.
I,
The show's good, but it's not like memorable.
top tier. Or, yeah.
I am very excited for the new Atlanta season. It's coming out.
Yes, it's coming out. I heard about it.
I don't know when. What, do you know the date?
No, but I just
Yeah.
saw somewhere that it's happening. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
fuck.
follow Lakeith Stanfield. I forget his name in the show. He's the weird dude.
Yeah, it's like D. It starts with a D, I think.
D's nuts.
The end of these nuts.
Um,
yeah, I don't
there's
know.
one of my favorite bits in that show is someone going like paper boy, and he's just like breakfast cup. He's like, who made that up? It's like, shut up, everything made up. Stay woke.
I still remember. I still think like the Benny episode scares me to this day.
Oh,
That's the
Benny
that's the
episode?
Michael Jackson one.
Yeah, it's the one where
I don't remember that.
fuck,
You don't remember that? So Lakeith Stanfield, his actor, goes into a house.
DeAndres? No, fuck, that's a girl.
No, I did start. Darius.
Darius,
That's
yes,
his
he's
name.
there because he wants to.
So-
he wants to buy a piano from this guy.
Yeah, he
Oh,
has
I
like
slightly-
a
I
van or
slightly
something
see
or a
this.
truck, and he goes to buy a piano from this guy that's in a house that's like out in the middle of the woods or
Yeah.
something. And he goes up, and this guy is like super pale and looks almost exactly like Michael Jackson.
Oh,
And so he like invites him in, and he's like super creepy. I think his name was Ted, right?
It's Ted. Oh yeah,
Ted?
Ted is the main one. Then his brother Benny.
His brother was Benny.
Yeah.
The whole story of the episode was he basically killed his brother because his father was abusive. Like Michael Jackson abusive, I guess. And then hid the body in the attic or something, and Darius was like super like freaking out about the whole thing.
Well, like what
It
was it
a
like? He
really good
finds
episode.
out that, like what was it? he turned his Ted made his like house into a museum of his father.
Yes.
But it was like, no
Yeah.
one knows who his father was.
Yeah.
They just and like, there's one where like, what was it? Ted like blocks Darius's car in so he can't leave. He's like always watching through the window. Then his brother's the one Darius goes into one of the rooms and finds a guy in a wheelchair with his face covered up, and he can't speak.
That was Benny.
And yeah, that was Benny. And towards the end, Benny comes out with a shotgun and shoots his brother, and then shoots himself, and then Darius just goes like, I don't know. It was just like he didn't know how to.
The piano though.
No, he left it there. He left. He was handcuffed to a chair, and he was just like, "Fuck! Like I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, the show's crazy, but very good. And
Sorry,
I follow.
what is
I
this show
follow.
about?
Atlanta.
It's
About Atlanta.
It's just Atlanta. That's just how it
Each
is down
episode
there.
is like its own story.
It's like if a show was called Florida and is like just all about like,
Yes,
a Florida man.
man.
It's quite literally
Every
like
episode
that.
is a different person.
that actor though, what's his name?
Like Keith Stanfield.
So like the first time I've ever really watched his stuff was in Atlanta,
Mm.
and then in high school one day we watched Selma, and he plays a serious role in Selma,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
He's a great actor.
Weird.
and I'm like, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Is he gonna say some whack shit? Like,
He's literally one of my favorite actors. He also played in
Sorry to
there was
Bother
that
You.
one. Yes, Sorry to Bother You. It's like an super anti-capitalist movie, but it's extremely good. It's like him. He works in like a voice like call center, and
I think I've seen a
he
clip
has to
from
like put on a white voice in order to actually be successful, and it's like centered all around that concept. But it gets like super fucking weird.
Yeah, I remember you tried to watch it with us like 1,000 fucking times, and we would watch the trailer, and I was like, no shot, dude.
Nah,
It gets like psychedelic, like an acid trip.
yeah.
It devolves into some weird shit.
I'm always
like,
about that. But yeah.
you did watch all those other ones, like what was the one about the girl who visits the boyfriend's how I'm thinking about ending things? Wasn't that one like really weird and wild?
What's that?
It's well, I could spoil it for you. Like,
No,
What
I
is it
still want to
called?
watch it.
Was that the show that I wanted?
thinking about ending things.
Grant was watching when it came one time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think she ever finished it. She just looked up the ending.
You would think that you're having a stroke while watching the movie.
Because like it's
nothing
very
made
artsy, and it's slow,
Mhm.
and it's weird, and shit is just happening.
Mhm.
Like
So-
a character will be in a room, right? They're visiting like her mom and dad, and she's introducing them to her boyfriend, and then in the next scene, the mom is older, like visibly older, or the dad is visibly younger, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And the dialogue is strange, and certain things are conflicting with shit that was said earlier.
And it never
or
makes like notes
and
of these changes.
no.
So it's like watching
It's
like
weird.
a
It makes
show
sense at the
out of
end, though.
order, and then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it makes sense at the end though.
So I really like those types of movies, but there are some times where it just goes overboard. So
He
like
said it was good though.
The Lobster. Have you guys ever seen
Yeah, that movie was fucking weird. And then
that? I love
terrible.
that movie. What do you mean the ending was
The
terrible?
ending was pretty bad.
I disagree. Hard disagree.
I felt like it was going somewhere, and then it was like, it is over, and I was like,
I would disagree.
I
think we watched it together.
No, I
I
like
think
those
Vivarium
shows,
sucked.
But
The
I
ending-
liked it.
Is
The
that
ending
the-
was stupid.
there's a movie by the same director called Hunting of a Sacred Deer or Killing of a
too.
Sacred
I heard
Deer.
of that. I
Heard of
don't
it.
never really.
I personally do not recommend it. It's a bore and is so
Is it
Wow.
trying to be deep, like really deep? and
It's
it's just like
very
this just
similar
comes
to
off
The
as
Lobster
horrible.
in tone and everything, but like is similar in concept kinda to Hereditary. You know what I mean? Like with the cult and thing. But like it's not even like a cult, it's just like a kid that has a father figure that father figure has an entire family. But the kid like wants to be in his family and like it's really creepy about it.
I
I
like.
don't know.
I recently. When I rewatched The Social Network, I've been looking up a lot of like Jesse Eisenberg's movies, and then I found one called The Double. And it's very much one of those artsy like deeper meaning movies, and it's I'm trying to think. You watched The IT Crowd,
Yes.
the English one.
Yes.
What is his name? Richard Ayoade.
Yes.
He's the director of it,
Oh, I love
and it's
him.
based off a Russian book about the whole like premise is like it's about this kind of like this like dystopian, not like Blade Runner dystopian or whatever kind of like that. It's just like a very like run down, bland. Everything's really yellows and browns kind of thing. And Jesse Eisenberg is this office worker who doesn't get like any what's the word? Like people don't notice him. His boss
nobody.
He's nobody. Like he comes in like he in the very beginning he loses his briefcase in the subway when he tries to go to work. The security guard doesn't let him in, but he's like, I've been working here for years, and he's like, I've never seen you before. You have to sign in and like do it. And when he does, he goes up, and his boss doesn't know his name. He calls him every other name besides what it is. He goes like, what do you even do here? Like, and he goes like, oh, I do a lot of things you give me. And it's like not specified what they do, and it's always on these like machines that aren't real machines. They're like it's like a steampunk looking machine.
But is this movie good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, so we should watch it.
Yes.
Is it a comedy or is it like a serious drama?
It's a serious drama. It's on Plex.
Okay.
It's on Plex.
That's what I found it. But but like it's called a double because again like he's like this nobody. No one knows who he is, and then there's this guy that shows up to work with his name backwards, like his first name and last name but switched, and it's his doppelganger. And of course,
instead of like John Doe, it's like Doe John. Or,
yeah.
Okay.
And like his boss going like, look how great of a work he's doing at this job.
Literally
he's the best person. Yeah.
Exact opposite of what Jesse Eisenberg is.
It's basically that, and he's just going, and he's just trying to figure.
That's weird.
It's like, but here's the thing. Like he goes around going like Jesse Eisenberg's the first original
too much
one.
now.
All right, whatever. I don't know. It's a very weird movie. Like there's a part, or it's not really a spoiler, but it's just like, he looks out his window at the night because he's like watching someone across the street, and he looks up and he sees a guy on a ledge across from him, and what he does, the guy jumps off and kills himself, but before he jumps, he waves at Jesse Eisenberg, and towards the end, like throughout the movie, Jesse Eisenberg's character is always like, why did he wave to me? And it's never really answered. It's just more like
it's kind of deep.
Like it's just like
the first person to acknowledge you.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, first person.
It's got to be a mental health.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like this man made a drastic choice in his life, and the last thing he did is to take notice of me.
Yeah,
and it's just so fun. It's really good. We have to watch it tonight.
I love Richard Coyote from the IT Crowd. I love his comedy. He's very like a very.
His name is Richard. Dick Coyote.
But yeah, I love his comedy and everything. So I'm surprised he made a series movie like that.
I was surprised. I didn't know he did it until the credits.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it, and then it was like director Rich Coyote, and I'm like,
is it the same one? Like,
I literally was just watching you like drop your tea in the IT credits an hour ago. Why you like now? It's just like this serious artsy film, but it's so good.
I do like not. So I'm a little bit like mixed when it comes to British comedy. Because British comedy can be so dark.
The weird thing is that the Double's not even a British comedy.
I know. I'm just saying, like in general.
It's not like comedy.
Like with IT Crowd. IT Crowd is completely different because it has like not actual comedy, but you know, like it's pretty lighthearted in general. I would say.
Are you trying to get to it's like one of those things where it's like it's kind of weird because it's very specific to where it's at.
Yes, because you can recognize British comedy just from like how the comedy is, because British comedy is always dark. Like I've noticed it with a show that I'm recently watching is Afterlife, which is from I forget his name, but he's a prominent British comedian. I believe he was in The Office, but
UK or in
the UK office. So he was also in the regular Office for an episode. He met Michael. He was basically Michael from the UK Office.
Oh, fuck.
Pretty sure.
I know who he is.
Just losing.
He's the actor that was at the Oscars and he just trashed on everyone there.
Basically,
right?
Yeah. He's like a super atheist too, because he goes on like talk shows and like talks about how God's terrible.
Oh yeah,
so God, right?
Yeah. Ricky Gervais.
There you go.
Yes, that's him. Ricky Gervais.
Yeah. I knew the face of the man you were talking about. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he's like the main guy in the Afterlife show, but the comedy in it is so dark. Like it's super like heavy.
It's kind of like his thing though.
Yeah, it's like super heavy on suicide and everything. So, yeah.
British people be whack like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oi, gonna kill myself today," and it's like, "Oh, stop it."
Literally funny. Like literally, there's scenes like with his therapist, who his therapist is like a super like narcissistic rich guy that does narcissistic rich guy things. For example, very explicit things like beating up a homeless dude
just for fun.
and like he just talks about it like so casually, like with his patient, like, and then like raping girls and stuff too.
The therapist is talking.
Yes, the therapist is talking
alright,
about it like he
Mr.
does it.
Therapist, I think you have the roles switched here.
It was a little uncomfortable when I was watching it, not gonna lie, but yeah, it was pretty like that.
Take a
So,
pause real quick.
but yeah,
Yeah, we gotta definitely watch stuff. So good. I don't know, I like Finals, like, I'm not very like one of those snobbish artsy people, but like stuff like The Double, like I kind of want to put Marriage Story in that kind of category. It's very artsy.
yes,
That's such a good movie.
yeah.
And it's like I don't look out for those, but when I do find them, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Again,
it's like finding a gold nugget.
Yeah, it's like
you know?
that's why I like
Finding
just
a
like
little
with
nugget
like
in Minecraft.
that's why I like just like in like an anime and such. Where it's like I like kind of diving away from the most popular and mainstream because it's always like you find the weirdest shit and it's like this is actually pretty great.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I guess Marriage Story doesn't really count because it has A-list actors.
It was basically a mainstream movie.
Yeah, because
But, it was really
Every
good.
day I wake up and wish you were dead.
But
That was
there,
good.
like there's that, but like even like The Double, where it just like it has Jesse Eisenberg in it.
That's how.
But I never would have found it if I didn't look. I wasn't looking at his all of his movies and TV shows he was in.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like, oh,
how
shit.
Sorry to Bother You was for me. That was how The Lobster was for me.
There's that. Like, I want to watch this one Michael Cera movie where it's like it's him getting high and he like and he carries on a cactus.
You guys watch Platoon?